Hi guys, good evening. How's everybody?
Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
So, I promised you guys I would bring out the Baal Predator box. What edition of 40k was this? An oldie. I don't know if it has a date on it. But I mean, it's old because it's still got the old colours, right? Blood red, chaos black, bolt gun metal. What the fuck is bolt gun metal? Is that lead belcher these days? Bleach bone, golden yellow. Fuck me, I don't remember these colours. I don't. Maybe the instructions will have a date on it. I don't see any date on this side. There's a lot of dust. There's dates on the sprues. All right, cool. Let's check it out. This is half built because I built the chassis years ago. So we just need to build the turret, really. I was waiting to decide how to build the turret. Check out this yellow as crap. See how yellow that box is? Here's my Games Day captain from 2012. He's only 11 years old. What's a Predator good for? Well, we'll see. I can't tell if he's gone yellow, if the resin inside has gone yellow, or if the packages has gone yellow, I guess. There's a Game Day captain anyway. I really want to do that model at some point. There's some other fun ones in here, in that we've got a Captain Tycho still in his blister pack. I think they took Tycho off sale. I'm not even sure you can buy him. He's going yellow. He's not yellow yet, but he's going yellow. And we also have Mephiston, Firstborn. This guy might actually be worth some money now, because he's long gone. What am I building? A Baal Predator. I might make the Lascan sides for it, so I've got options. I don't know what these pieces are. Maybe they're just extra doors or something. Oh, maybe these are the doors you don't need because I'll be putting on sponsons. And oh, this would maybe be if it was. These must be the Rhino pieces. Okay, it's been a long time since I've been in this box. So, the Death Company are older than I am. Is there a year on these sprues? Okay, yeah, 2001. Is that the year it would be? Buy this Baal Predator for 22 years in a box for 22 years. Would that be the year? They don't update these. Oh, this one says 2009. Okay, so why did that one say 2001? Okay, so it's a little bit old. It's a little bit old. But yeah, I started making this Baal Predator, I guess, a long time ago, and then realized that there was no good options for it, I guess. How much do you think the Predator was when you bought it back in the day? It used to cost £17.50. I remember when a Rhino used to cost £9.99. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I have no idea what a Rhino sells for nowadays, but I'm guessing it's more than £9.99. Alright, so I'm gonna have to wind myself back. I've put on one searchlight. It looks like I did one of the lights. So... oh god, this is back before the pieces were numbered. Is that right? Yes. The pieces do not have any numbers on them. Okay, I feel like less of an idiot, because when I first came back to the hobby after like a 10-year break, I snipped everything out of a sprue to make a model, and then was like, this is actually really difficult, because everything was snipped out. Well, I guess back in the day they didn't have numbers on them. You just had to find them and guess, right? Cool. I definitely feel like less of an idiot now. Rhino's about $60 in the US. Well, it used to be 10 bucks flat here in the UK. Good evening, everyone. Anyone been watching LVO? I've seen some tweets about the terrain state at LVO. I've seen maps where there's literally no obscuring cover. So I don't know what the state of terrain is, but it looks interesting this year. Let me just put it that way. It looks like there's an interesting amount of terrain on some of these tables. At least it's a large rhino. I still have the small rhino. I still have one of those small rhinos that I painted when I was a kid, guys, and it was the most terrible paint job you're ever going to see in your life. So I'm not going to show it on stream, but yeah, I have a very, very old rhino as well. I guess I don't think when they went to this size, they were probably like 15 bucks maybe. And the other Baal Predator, because I've got one here that's in a half finished state. Well, not even half finished. This Baal Predator, this bit of the sponson, this is metal, because you can tell by the weight. So, excuse me, this is the Baal Predator when these guns were metal, and actually the heavy flamers, if you put the heavy flamers on the sponsons, they were metal as well. So, I'll probably get on to painting that Baal Predator a little bit later in the stream. Hello, Joel. LVO is doing player place terrain, is it? I've seen some really weird tables, so I don't know what's going on with the terrain at LVO. I just see some people were saying that, like, some of their armies just couldn't play on the terrain that was placed, which kind of sucks. Alright, I'm going to build this with heavy bolters. I probably should have just built it with heavy bolters all along. It feels like Games Workshop are never going to update the Flamer version of the Baal Predator. If they ever update the Flamer version of the Baal Predator, I will buy another Baal Predator. But I've been waiting a decade for this to be updated, and it's not been updated. I guess I'm just doing heavy bolters. Can you put a combi melt on it? Not sure. I remember an original Mark 1 Rhino for $5.99. Oh my god, I thought $9.99 was cheap. I remember that. $5.99 for a Rhino. How cheap an army that would have been. There wasn't that many options back then, though, was there? It was like, so I'm going to run 2 Baal Predators this week. It's going to be a fun list. It's going to be a wacky list. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to run 2 Baal Predators. I could always proxy a 3rd Predator if I wanted to, as like, because I've got some regular Predators. So I could proxy a 3rd Predator as a Baal Predator as well if I wanted. But let me run 2 and see how we get on. Wow, this sucks not having none of the pieces numbered, actually. So when did they actually start numbering the pieces on the sprue? When was that? Maybe convert it into Predator Destruction with the autocannon 12 bolter for 130 points. Yeah, I was going to see if there's any way I can magnetize the top of it. In some ways I would like to magnetize the side of it, because like I've got these las cannons and I've got either the double las cannon on top or the autocannon on top. So I might just snip them off and put them together and see if there's going to be an easy way to do that. Autocannons on the las cannons on the side is going to be tricky. I already got 2 Predators with las cannons on the side. and autocannons on the top, like the destructor, is that what you call it? The Brutalis will give 4 melta shots. It will be reliable shooting. I am actually excited about seeing the Brutalis in action, kind of like as you say, because it will have some reliable shooting. In some ways, I kind of just want to say if there was an easy way to convert Redemptors into Brutalises, I'd probably just do that, because yeah, Redemptors, 4 multi-melta shots is not to be sniffed at, I guess. If it's the same points as the Redemptor, and it's got 4 multi-meltas and a heavy stubber, I mean, you're not really losing that much shooting, and you're going to do so much better in melee. Evening, Jason. There's a Black Legion list at LVO running 6 Terrax drills. How can you run 6 Terrax drills? Oh, because they're dedicated transports? That's a bit of a gamey list, isn't it? Normally you're only allowed 3 things. Terraxes are pretty cool. 6 of them, wow. I mean, the drills are tough, and they do so much damage in melee combat. That's a cool idea. Are data sheets out for the new model? There's been a leak for the data sheet for the Brutalis, but I haven't seen any data sheets for the Rocket Men. I'm not entirely sure what they're called, actually. I forget now. What are the Rocket Men called again? If the meltas are a costly upgrade, yeah, everyone's going to cry again. The problem is if they're a costly upgrade, you're not going to end up taking them because the Redemptor or the Brutalis will have the same problem in the Redemptor in that, like, it doesn't have an invulnerable save. So if enemies can pick it off, then Desolators. Thanks. If the enemies can pick it off, they'll die pretty quickly, and I guess that's a problem, I think, for the Brutalis. So, like, if the multi-meltas cost, I mean, a multi-melt on some of the other stuff has cost like 10-20 points. If you're gonna have to spend like 30 extra points on the multi-melta, and you don't have really any survivability on it, it's gonna be hard. I mean, it's gonna be hard to pick them, I guess. I guess we'll find out. What's up, Carl? The real name or the meme name? I was wanting the real name. Desolators. I think I just got plastic in my eye. Lovely. Dedicated transports are exempt to the rule of 3. Yeah, I know they are, but the siege drill is kind of like a gamey choice to bring 6 of, I guess. Like, if someone turns up with 6 siege drills, you're like, okay, you're try hard, I guess, would be the thing. Like, you're gaming the system a little bit. They're not intended to. I know dedicated transports are exempt to the 3 rule, but it feels a bit gamey. Because I mean, the Terex does a ton of damage. It's not just a transport, right? I have 2 Terexes and I'm considering a third, says Dirty Wizard. Well, I'm getting my first Terex this month, or February, hopefully. Mike's been painting it for me. He said that maybe like a couple more weeks, and he'll have my commission finished. So my commission is a Vindicator Laser Destroyer, Terex Siege Drill, 10 Voidsman at Arms, and an Ironclad Dreadnought. So I guess I'm adding like 500 on top of everything that I do for myself. I'm commissioning Blood Angels units because I'm insane. I'm gonna have Mike's painting my Vindicator Destroyer as we speak. Nice, Mike, thank you. I'm going to do an unboxing so everyone can see what Mike's painted for me. And then if anyone needs someone in the UK to do commissions, I can highly recommend Mike. This is like the second commission he's done, and this commission was giant. Like, this is like 4 vehicles and 10 guys in a single commission, so it's a pretty big commission. He turned it around in like in 2 months for me, so pretty great. But yeah, I'm just gonna, I don't know, that's why I always say, like, I'd rather pick things that I want to add to my army, like Vindicator laser destroyers, like fun things that I want to add, rather than just go like, oh, plasma inceptors are good, I'll buy all the plasmas. I always think that's risky. And I guess this week it really showed that it is risky to just go like heavy into something like that. How do these gun turrets work again? So you put this bit like this, you put a gun on like that, is that right? And then you put the ammo on the other side. Okay, and simple enough. So how would it work with the las cannons? You just take these las cannons off the sprue for a little look. It's a modelling and painting hobby first. For me, it kind of is. I obviously probably like playing the games and playing the tournaments the most, but I always seem like the thing that I spend the most time doing is modelling and hobbying. Yeah. Which is fine. I enjoy it. I got all you guys to keep me company anyway, so it's fine. If you enjoyed tonight's stream at any point, remember, hit that like button. It does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Is it worth getting a Vindicator Invictus War suit for the Blood Angels? Says Michael Fitz. Hello, Michael. I'm not sure we met before. I don't think they're great. Like, they got a points drop, which I think Tony and Mark, some people thought they got better. We don't see them very often in competitive play. And I proxied my... If you've got some Redemptor Dreadnoughts, maybe what you should do is what I did, which was proxy some, like, of your Redemptors. So do these las cannons use a different sponson bit? They must, because... Oh, interesting, because, like, that bit didn't fit in there. So maybe I can build these las... Like, maybe this came with these las cannon sponsons and I can actually build them and then swap them out? I'm not entirely sure. The instructions don't show the las cannons, annoyingly. I don't know why they wouldn't show the las cannons. I guess because it's technically it's the Baal Predator kit, but I seem to have the las cannons. So one of these Baal Predator kits must... Did anyone bought a Baal Predator recently? Do they come with the las cannon kits? Do I need a different bit to... Because it came with... It came with these guns on top as well. Like, it came with the twin las cannon and the autocannon for the top. They use a smaller bit, and maybe I don't have the smaller bit, huh? Interesting. Why would I have the las cannons and not the smaller bit? I mean, this has been in a box for a very long time, and why would I have the sponsons and not the smaller bit? Right, so that one bit goes in like that. I mean, this is so flush it almost feels like I wouldn't need to glue it. Maybe just glue the bottom bit together. I guess you want it to be able to turn a little bit, do you? Or do you just glue it? Good day, Antonius. Getting in some hobbying tonight. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gluing. Ah, fuck it, I'm just gluing it. I gonna say I've got 2 predators and I never field them. If I need another predator, then I'll buy another predator. I can't imagine predators are ever gonna come back in the meta. It's gonna be that's wrong. Oops. Okay. It's one sponsor thingy. The Brutalis is going to be Nasty and Templars list. Hellbrett, Grimaldus, 2 Brutalis, a Crusader squad. Taking the midboard would be scary to fight. That's if the Brutalis gets core. I think it will get core. I can't really see any reason that it wouldn't. Why do you think it wouldn't get core? The Baal is an upgrade sprue. Okay, so maybe I can build these las cannons. I guess I'll check. Good evening, Marcus. Thoughts on the new missile troops? I mean, I'll probably buy some. I'm probably going to buy the new box, actually. We were talking about this in Discord yesterday. I was like, the new box will be probably like, I reckon it'll probably be, in UK, probably like 120, maybe even 130. In US, you're probably going to be like 200. And annoyingly, I own half of what's in the new box. You know, like, I own the heavy intercessors. I own more Primaris lieutenants than I care to admit. So I don't really know why I would need more Primaris lieutenants. Oh shit. I'm just looking at this other Baal Predator I've got. It's a different kit. It's a metal kit, slightly different. But I'll probably buy the new box and get... What do you get? A Brutalis. You get 10 of those missile troops. And... I feel like there was something else. Oh yeah, I think that's it. So that's all you would... Like, I would get the heavy intercessors times 5 and I'd get a lieutenant with some different upgrade options. The thing is, I already bought the Games Day Lieutenant. You know, the limited edition one that was like... I was showing it at the beginning. Like, this was the Games Day Captain. I'm sure I've got a Primaris Lieutenant with every weapon option that's available to them. So it's like, I don't know why I would ever need another... You think they're beautiful, or you're on the... I don't know, everyone's getting very upset about the size of their missile launchers and how they hold in them and stuff like that. I mean, if you're not happy with how they look, can you convert them? How many copies of the new box are you all buying, says Campbell? I mean, because I already got 3 Redemptors, and is it just going to be like I'm not going to run my Redemptors anymore? I'm kind of wondering if there's like, because I magnetized the arm for the Redemptors that has the plasma cannon on it, so I'm kind of wondering, is there going to be an option where I could just, is this right? I don't think this is right. I don't think this is the right piece. This is an old kit that doesn't have instructions, or it doesn't have numbers on the pieces, which is very annoying. That is the winged piece with the 2 little bits, so that's supposed to fit onto the heavy bolter. Have I glued these heavy bolters on the wrong way around? No, I don't think so. So that bit is supposed to fit in there somehow? Well, it doesn't. Another one? Oh, it does. Alright, okay, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it would be easier to like try and 3D print like another claw arm for the Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I mean, I'll probably buy one of the new boxes, but one of my things, like, I don't mind painting the same model and over. Like, I've done it a lot, I guess, as I've built the army over time. But I'm just not sure that I really want to paint basically 3 more Redemptor Dreadnoughts, because that's what they are, right? So hold on, how the fuck did this fit on one of them? That looks right, but not the other one. A little bit is too big. I'm not a fan of the missile troops, but I need the heavy intercessors and the dreadnought. Yeah, we might see heavy intercessors get a bit more play this edition. I don't dislike heavy intercessors, I just never quite... I've got them right here. I'll probably paint a little bit more of them on the stream. They're pretty cool kits. I like Gravis armor in general. I just... I felt like before they were too expensive to field, right? Whereas I guess now they're a bit better. So I've actually got 2 Blood Angels unique things I could stick on the front of the Land Raider here. Sorry, the Land Raider, the Baal Predator here. It doesn't make any sense that this cover for the gun doesn't fit though. Okay. Do you think the Furiosa will go away in the next codex? I have no idea. Something might get deprecated. There's already complete Brutalis model available, like what, for 3D printing, is there? It's crazy how quickly they get those 3D printing websites up and stuff like that. It's just crazy. The Brutalis comes with claws and fists. I think you probably want the claws, because I think the claws are going to be better for Blood Angels, but until we actually see the non-leaked data sheet, it'll be hard to... But the claws will also let you paint at Death Company colours. I already got one Dreadnought painted Death Company colours, and I think they're pretty cool. I use Gravis Lights to convert my Terminator squad and bring them up to size with Primaris Lags. They look chunky. Oh, interesting. I never even thought about using Gravis Lights. So what kit did you buy to do that with? Right, I need the doors next. And I need these bits, I think. A Brutalis Death Company Dreadnought. I mean, paint it that way for sure. I already painted one of my Dreadnoughts Death Company colours, and it does look cool. People often have been at a few events and people are like, oh cool, so what extra rules has the Death Company Dreadnought got, or the Death Company Redemptor? I'm like, none. I just painted it that way because I'd literally I just finished painting 2 red Redemptors and I was like, I'm not painting a 3rd red Redemptor, so I'm painting this one in Death Company colours. Haven't quite finished my Death Company one actually. I wasn't happy with my edge highlighting on it, but I'm always like jumping around on models, haven't I? This is exactly what I'm doing at the moment. I'm jumping around on model to model to try and build a list for the first week of March, because I've got a GT in the first week of March. And now that I've won an event, I would like to try and win a solo event. I don't know if it's a step too far right now to win a solo event, but maybe just getting to top table again would be a good thing to do. Or maybe top 3 would be a better aim. I'm sure someone with the claws ready to 3D print. Yeah, I think the claws will make it feel more Death Company as well, Robert. I think that would be super cool. I don't know if you should worry too much about models going away, dude, because in 9th edition, literally like 2 models went away from Space Marines. One of them was like the old, super old Chaplain on a bike, because they replaced him with a Primaris Chaplain on a bike. And then there was like one other model. I don't even remember what it was now, but it must have been like a niche pick because no one was too upset about it. And anyone that had a chaplain on a bike, because I had a chaplain on a bike and I converted him into my chapter master on a bike, and he's like a unique character now. He looks cool and he is my chapter master on the bike. Yeah. You would need to customize some. I mean, my Death Company Dreadnought was all done with the paint job, right? Like, I didn't put any wings or anything on him. I guess if you have a Baal Predator kit, though, right? You could put like this sort of thing on him, or this sort of thing would be quite cool. And also, there's a very rare. I'll say it's rare. It's not that rare. It's just expensive. There's the Forge World transfer sheet. The Blood Angels Forge World transfer sheet gives you like really arcane / old / unique transfers, and I used them on my Falchion, and because I haven't finished the Death Company Dreadnought. When I get to it, I'll probably use them on that. But it's very cool, and it's definitely worth looking at. No Chaplain Dreadnought anymore. Was that the other one? Yeah. Not many people had the Chaplain Dreadnought, and it was kind of broken rules anyway, sellers, wasn't it? Because it was like an untargetable Dreadnought with a double las cannon. So you could just sit it at the back next to a squad of guys. Like, the squad of guys could be obscured through the wall, and you just had this one Dreadnought that could shoot a double las cannon across the board every turn, and like you couldn't even shoot back at it. So the Chaplain Dreadnought probably had to go. Finally, Tycho might be gone in 10th. He might be, but Tycho's almost like a running joke in that he's just makes it into every new book, right? He probably should be gone because I don't think he gets like nearly any play, but like I said, he's a bit of a running joke maybe. There's so many effing rivets on the Vindicator Laser Destroyer. I mean, there generally is a lot of rivets on all the tanks, isn't there? You have to decide if you're going to paint the rivets or not. I guess I paint mine. Some people probably just don't bother. Which way up do these doors go? Does it matter? They go in either way? No. Alright, let's make sure we get them in the right way up. Right, this way up. Quick question. Yeah, hit me. That's what I'm here for. Questions and hobbying. Tell me what you're working on tonight, guys. If you're working on some hobby, tell me what you're doing. And we're doing the Army List show. We're back. We came back last week after a bit of a break, and we did the Army List show last week. We're definitely doing it again this week. So that's tomorrow night at like 9:30. And I know we've got some new members and stuff to the community, so I'm putting out like a community post tomorrow night, just reminding people that we do the Army List show every Sunday night. Do you have a Discord? Yeah, it should be in the video description, dude. It's got like 3,000 members, or maybe that's the Facebook group has 3,000 members now. We fairly got a lot of members over the last little while. Probably during COVID, no one was doing anything, so everybody just came in, started playing 40k, right? I remember doing these before, actually, these Baal Predator sponsons, and I remember them being a nightmare because once the gun is in, or you know, once the pieces are in, there's almost no way to get in behind them to paint them. No. Let's see, where does that bit even supposed to go? Is it supposed to sit inside? Yeah. But upside down. Let me see. Yeah, so you're supposed to put that in like that. And then there'll be absolutely no way you can get in there to paint that. Well, I was going to say, let's stick it in and let's see how much maneuverability there is actually on this. Oh, do you know what? There's more maneuverability than I thought. There's a horrible squeaking. I don't know how well you can hear that squeaking. It's absolutely horrible. But, yeah, okay, we'll glue it. Dark Ginger's painting a laser destroyer. Matt's playing some Battle Sector. I never did complete Battle Sector yet. I'll complete it at one point. I've been really enjoying that Grey Knights game. If you've not played the Grey Knights game, you should check it out. I'm a bit further in it than I am in Battle Sector. Robert's basing some Blight Lords. Does Abaddon's trait, Dark Destiny, only restrict normal damage to 3 per phase, or does it include mortal wounds? It's just 3 per phase, dude. So if you do 3 normal damage and 3 mortal wounds, he just takes 3. Like, mortal wounds do not let you go over the top of it unless you specifically have a rule that says that you could ignore face caps. Michael's painting Judiciar. Mike says sub-assemble it. We're too late, Mike. We're too late. It's fine. I mean, there's horrible mold lines on this here at the back as well, actually. And like, I think the Baal Predator is probably going to get 3 coats, and then it'll just be, I was going to say it's going to be relegated to like a shell. Or, I mean, it's sat in this box for 10 years, so it's probably going to get 1 game, and then get put in a and then get put on a shelf for 10 years, kind of feel like is what's gonna happen. Full Brains building infiltrators. Jordan's painting a land speeder. You started 40k in the pandemic. Yeah, a lot of people. That's when I started the YouTube channel in the pandemic. Everybody needed a new hobby in the pandemic, right? Edward is painting a repulsor. I was doing that the other night. I might put a little bit more paint. I want to get onto some painting tonight. I've got my Grimaldus, or my Helguinius is what I'm calling him. I've got Helguinius to get some paint on. Sodoff is painting a Stomper. Joel says Kill Team is more fun than just normal 40k. I mean, everybody's got their opinion, Joel. I find Kill Team kind of dull. But maybe Kill Team's a good place to start. But yeah, everybody's got their own opinion on what's best, I guess. Oh, is Kill Team more fun? I know, it's a good place to start though, right? Sellers left his paint at home and I'm bummed out. Where are you at tonight then, Sellers? How come? You out of town or something? Alright. These ones are a little bit different from the ones on the other Baal Predator. Like, on this one, it's like got a top and bottom support. On this Baal Predator, it's just got like a top, it just hangs. So this Baal Predator kit must be like the original Baal Predator kit. It was because it's got the metal turret. So I guess they just made a slight improvement to the. Yeah, I guess Baal Predators never really did it for me. The fact that I've got 2 of them here and neither of them ever really got much paint on them just shows that for me they were never quite competitive enough, I guess. Back, like, probably when I owned this Baal Predator originally, like, God, that sounds horrible. Can you hear that? Ugh, the plastic noise. Ugh. It's horrible. How sad was I when Dante wasn't revealed? I wasn't really expecting Dante to be revealed, I feel like. I don't know when I'm expecting to see Dante. Someone needs to make an army of bald heads and call it the Baldy. angels. Okay, well, I mean, sounds interesting. Why? Why? Yeah, like I was gonna say, like why? What gives? The bald angels, huh? I expected to see the box. Like I've been saying for a while, I thought we might get like because you remember Shadow Spear, which was like it's a sort of mid-edition box set, right? Where it was like halfway through edition, we got the Shadow Spear, which was like suppressors and the Vanguard Marines. I think it was all the Vanguard Marines that came in Shadow Spear, right? So that came out like a year after 8th, maybe a year and a half, whereas this box has been announced 2.5 years behind. So yeah, I kind of expected a new box like this for Space Marines earlier. Again, I mean, I'm more disappointed that there's no jump pack troops, to be honest. Like I thought this box was going to be the box that had the jump pack troops. Melee Dreadnought is fine. The fact that it's got 4 multi-meltas on it, or 4 multi-melta shots, maybe makes it actually pretty decent. Was there a time that the Baal Predator was a must-play for Blood Angels? Not for me. I used to use a lot of attack bikes and land speeders. When do the models go up for sale? I don't think they said. To be honest, I didn't actually read the article, I just looked at the pictures. Did they say when I think it just said coming soon. Maybe I skimmed it. That's the thing about doing reveals on a Friday at 6 AM. Well, one, I'm not getting up at 6 AM on a I mean, I don't get up at 6 AM unless I have to, like, you know, ever, I guess. I never want to be up at 6 AM unless I'm like going to the airport for a holiday or something like that. Yeah, by doing the reveals on a Friday, I mean, I have to go to work, so I just quickly looked at the pictures at like 7 AM when I was walking to work or something, and then you get into your work day, and I kind of forgot that there was releases. So yeah, I never read the article fully. The Melee Redemptor seems to have better shooting than the normal one, yeah, and it's got better movement as well, and I think the better movement is the big thing for me, right? Because those dreadnoughts are like really scary if you can get them up in people's faces. I mean, the Redemptor's scary enough if you get it up in people's faces, just because it's like D3+3. Space Marines don't have that many D3+3 weapons, you know, lots of other factions have loads of D3+3. So it's cool that we've got that now, and it's cool that it's going to be easier to get that up into the enemy's face, just because it's faster. If anyone didn't see the datasheet leak, it's apparently got a 10-inch move compared to the 8-inch move of the Redemptor, so it is just a little bit faster. I think the Redemptor, when it profiles, it goes 864, so I don't know what this goes when it profiles, but I'm guessing something like 10, it might be 1086 or it might be like 107. I imagine it's always going to be faster, so if it's always going to be faster, it's going to be 1075, or I think it might be 1086. So even if you're a middle bracket, you've still got an 8-inch move, which is a lot, which is decent. And also, if those dreadnoughts ever have to go through like dangerous terrain or difficult terrain, then suddenly 8 inches suddenly becomes a 6, and they're kind of they get bogged down. I actually think that I saw, because when you do YouTube for, I was going to say for a living, I don't do YouTube for a living, but I'm passionate about YouTube. So like, the last thing I do on my phone before I go to bed is I'll be on YouTube, and the first thing I do when I get up is go on YouTube to see how videos have done or whatnot. So I think I probably saw the new models like on someone else's community post, because I follow all the big Warhammer players, right? Like Hellstorm Gaming, like Tabletop Minis, Tabletop Titans, Chapter Master Valric, who was in here the other night. Who's keeping up with LVO? I've been looking at some of the terrain layouts, Reziel, and I saw a terrain layout that was horrific. Like, not a single piece of obscuring terrain on the whole board. I was like, oh my god, like, at such a big event, you're going to have a map that's got no obscuring terrain? So yeah, I haven't watched too much of it. I never get too much time on the weekends anyway because of the kids during the day. But I have been following some people on Twitter, and some people on Twitter, some of the boards they've been sharing, it's nuts. I was like, what? Like if I put my Blood Angels down on that board, it's an instant loss. I was like, okay. Player place terrain. I mean, player place terrain doesn't help if none of it's obscuring. Like every single piece had windows. That's nuts. Timetable will probably be released in a versus box with 20 intercessors and 10 reavers. You better not be, you troll. You better not be. There'll be a lot of reavers and intercessors on eBay. I don't know why they keep putting like, because I think Azrael's in a box with like intercessors, right? Like 10 of them. And I'm like, at this point, who doesn't have, like, I think I have like 50 intercessors. And probably like 40 of them are painted. Like I've painted a shitload. Like I've painted more intercessors than I will ever need. I don't know why I've painted that many, but I have. I think I painted a bunch when Dark Imperium first came out, and it was like, oh cool, intercessors have better bolters and stuff. So yeah, I don't know why they put like, yeah, I just got way too many intercessors. I don't want any special limited boxes to contain intercessors. I'm like, why do I need more intercessors? I've got sprues of them just sitting there. Probably like, I probably got like sprues of, let's say, 30 intercessors. Probably, I mean, I guess it's more conversions, but whatever. I hope they release chapter specific units for Primaris Blood Angels and a whole refresh. That's a rumor. That is a rumor that has been floating for a little while. I guess some people are hoping for that. Yeah, I might try and check out some of LVO tomorrow, but I mean, it really depends on how much time I get with the kids and stuff, so. Tomorrow will be like the final games, right? Or the big epic matchups. I heard the commentary wasn't very good, but I mean, is it just people on Twitter getting really upset about stuff? Still really hurts to reach behind my back and grab like my other shirt sleeve and pull my shirt off, but I keep doing it. My arm is Las Vegas Open. It's one of the biggest Warhammer tournaments of the year. I keep hurting my arm, but I think it's getting better every day. Oh, I know it's getting better. Alright, here's an assault cannon. In 2 pieces. Wow, okay, this is old school. Need a better file here, actually. It was bad? The commentary was bad? I mean, if they want to fly me over, I would commentate it. Just need like whatever, like a couple of £1,000 to get myself flying over. But would I ever consider LVO? Yeah, Andrew wants to do it. At some point, maybe in a few years' time, when my kids aren't so young and they're not a nightmare to be left with just one parent, I might consider it. Just start saving up all the donations and the channel revenue for like a couple of years maybe, and I could go without having to spend too much on it myself. Well, the top-down camera, yeah, I don't know why it's being so crap tonight. I can restart it. I probably need to see if I can get it working. Yeah, it definitely has a jerky frame rate tonight. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just does this. I need to see if I can get a different program. One that... Maybe you know, Mike. This one uses wireless. Is there one that can... like, I use an iPhone for my top-down camera. My iPhone is plugged into my PC. So, like, with a lightning cable. So, like, arguably, if I could use the cable for the camera, it might be better than the Wi-Fi. But I mean, I've got really good Wi-Fi, and I get really good Wi-Fi signal up here. So I don't know why it's a low frame rate tonight. Oh, maybe it's a little bit better. No, it's still low. It's the same in where we play our live games. Like we use a wire, and we also sometimes use wireless, and sometimes it works great. I use OBS camera app on my iPhone from top down, and does that use the Wi-Fi or does that just use does that use the Wi-Fi or does that use the cable? I didn't even know there was an OBS camera app. Alright, Tony, good evening. How you doing? You can use either. Alright, cool. I'll download the OBS camera app. I just get it off the App Store or... Oh right, it's 20 quid. Okay, but is it on the App Store? Is that where I get it? Or do I get it somewhere else? Tony, I got a Baal Predator. I got 2 of them actually tonight. I'm gonna run both this week in the live game. They're both in shit state because I've never bothered with them before. I guess I'm bothering with them now. The sprue says 2009 on it, and it also is so old that none of the pieces are numbered. So I'm plugging away nice and slow because none of the pieces are numbered. Perfect, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I'll buy it then. I'll probably have to buy it next month because I was about to take the plunge and buy that Stream Deck that I was talking about. Not anyone that thinks it's a Steam Deck. No, it's not. A Stream Deck. These things are 2 different things apparently. The Stream Deck means that, like, rather than have to mess around in OBS, I can get like a custom control panel for my stream. The Stream Decks are £139 though, dude. It's pretty expensive. But yeah, I'm gonna buy one. I think it'll. Well, I mean, the plan is hopefully it'll make the stream better. Is that right? These bits go like that. Basic. Pally says Elgato. I use Elgato for the camera that's looking at me right now. I've got a capture card in my PC that, I mean, it only has 1 input. It can only take 1 camera. I could probably use it for the top down. It would be better, but the problem is that camera is such a nightmare to move around. It kind of just has to stay where it is. I ordered my first Contemptor and I'm going to try and modify and magnetize the arm for a Librarian Dread to work on it. I mean, that could be cool. There is also the spear arm you could get from the Custodes Contemptor, which would let you do, like... I mean, I've got a Custodes Contemptor I can show you if you want to see it, but there's I think it's... Is it the Ventor? Where you could convert a Custodes Contemptor into some sort of Blood Angels thing. I've got a giant one that got sent to me. Someone on the channel actually sent it to me, so I probably feel bad that I've had it for like 2 years and not got to it, but I'm sure I'll get to it at some point. It was a very cool model. £110 points is cheap enough on the Baal to work out. That's what I was thinking, Rezio. Like, I don't think it's great, but I think at 110 points, it stoke up some firepower, keep firepower off key troops. And it'll do something when it shoots. So, that's what I was thinking. How are those bits supposed to go together? Let's see, these are hatches that are supposed to be up the way. I've never seen that before. Okay, so you can glue them up the way like this. You can just glue them closed. Yeah, I've been trying to get some different stream music because I've been listening to the same stream music for probably like 2 years at the moment, so I'm occasionally making it a little bit different. Is the chat link friendly? I have no idea. You might be able to post a link, you might not. Remember for a while we were getting like the sex bots coming into the chat and like posting like dodgy links all the time. That seems to have stopped now, so I don't know if that was me turning something off and we fixed that, or if they just don't come past anymore. So you might be able to post a link, you might not. Like I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna glue one up and then one down then. Screw it. We'll do something a bit different. Turkey says, damn it, I'm gonna miss the hot single ladies. Yeah. I mean, I don't think they were hot or ladies. I think it was just a bot, but, you know, you can hope. Alright. Rizzo says, I really like the look of the Brutalis, not a fan of the name. I mean, it just looks like a Redemptor, doesn't it? Like, a little bit more armor than a Redemptor. Ken says people who do that... Oh, what have I missed? Oh, people, like, if you convert the Dreadnought, do people complain about the size difference? People would only really complain, I think, and I've never really had it done to me, and I do a lot of conversions. Like, I stick extra bits on models, or sometimes I might put a different banner or something. I think the only time someone would complain is if you're making the model smaller. For example, like, I played against someone who was doing suppressors, and like he didn't put any of them on their flight stands, so you could hide them all in buildings, which is a bit shady, right? Like, models that come with flight stands, I would say, have to be on the flight stand. Like, if you're going, like, if it was a friendly game, fine, that's fine. If it's a tournament game, I'm not so sure that you should be going to a tournament game with like models that come on flight stands, not modeled on flight stands. That's so if you're making your model purposely smaller, what they call modeling for advantage, that's when people would get upset. A Contemptor is bigger than the regular Librarian Dreadnought. Like, if it's on the same size base and it's bigger, then technically that's a disadvantage for you, because it'll be easier for the enemy to see it, hence probably easier for the enemy to shoot at it. So no one should have a problem with you taking converting a Contemptor Dreadnought into like a Chicken Dreadnought. What people might get upset is if you tried to say your Chicken Dreadnought was a Redemptor, because the Redemptor is like giant in comparison. That would be what people would be upset about. But typically, and even at a lot of tournaments, if you're open and honest, people don't have a problem. Because I've been to tournaments where people maybe even had the wrong guns on their models, and they said, well, you know, before the game, let me just tell you that all these guys are actually armed with las cannons. And normally, oh yeah, fuck, that's sore, man. Sorry, my arm just sometimes gets randomly sore still, I guess. Probably just overworking the muscle. Yeah. So as long as you're not making like huge differences, Ken, I feel like you're probably okay, right? Is there a GW rule for the flight stems? I mean, there's not, but it's definitely modeling for advantage if you don't put your units on flight stems. Same as, like, I've seen people that haven't put wings on Sangre Guard, and, like, for me, that's super borderline, right? Like, Sangre Guard are supposed to have those big wings. If you don't put any of the wings on, then it's easier to get them in behind terrain. You can get them closer together. For me, I feel like if I came up against someone in a tournament and they had their Sangre Guard with no wings on them and mine have got wings on them, I'm probably not going to say anything, because there's not much you can do, but, like, to me that's right on the edge of, like, that's pretty shady, right? Like, that's definitely, you know, the wings make it mean that you have to be behind taller terrain and stuff because the wings are sticking out. Wings means you can get less models behind as well because they can't get so close to each other. So yeah, I mean, you guys do you. I'm just telling you my opinion. Maybe you completely disagree with me, and if you do, that's fine. But I would generally try not to make your model smaller than the original size. And maybe if they come with something that makes them bigger, then you probably should keep the thing that makes them bigger, for example. One thing you could definitely do, though, that I wouldn't have a problem with is, see, like this repulsor. It's got these stupid antennas on it that break every time you try and transport it to a game anyway. So, and I mean, here's a prime example. The guy on the mounted on the chain gun, or whatever this is called, the heavy onslaught gun, he had an antenna in his head and it's broken anyway because you can see where the paint snapped off. I'd be happy for you to either not put these on or cut these off, because they're just making it harder to hide that model, because if they can see the top point of that antenna poking over a building, then they can shoot it, right? So I would be happy for you to, like, not put these on or cut these off. Like, I don't think that's modeling for advantage. I mean, I guess it's open to interpretations, right? Hey Inks, good evening. I'll put my Terminators in Discord with Gravis legs. I'll check them out, Mike. That sounds like a fun conversion. That's how this channel started, man. I was bored in the pandemic and I made conversions. And the very first video I put up, I figured no one watch it anyway, it's just me. And the first video I ever put up is so cringe. Like, it's so bad. It's like, I can't even watch that video. I just thought it was like, this is a terrible video. But one person, and it was just a single person, subscribed to my channel. And I was like, wow, I don't know who it is. I still probably to this day don't know who my first subscriber was. YouTube doesn't really give you that information. But that one person who subscribed to this terrible video that I made doing a conversion, and it was like a conversion of like an Indomitus or a Dark Imperium model or something, they gave me the confidence to be like, wow, somebody likes what I'm doing. Good evening, NB92, how you doing? What would you like to see from Primaris Dante? A 3 damage weapon, the ability to sweep or strike like Hellbreak, so you can do like 3 damage per swing for like 6 attacks, or you can do like 1 damage per swing for 12, and then more than 1 command point. And obviously maybe I mean, he's probably gonna get another wound and another attack because he's Primaris. I'd probably actually like to see his his -1 to hit rule changed, because I don't think -1 to hit is all that strong. I'd much rather like more toughness or something, but we're not going to get everything that we want, so that's sort of my 2 cents. More command points and a 3 damage weapon with the ability to sweep or strike. Keeping the wings off Sangre Yard is modeling for advantage. I think it is, JT Money, but like I said, you can choose. I mean, it's you're the person going to the tournament. You'll have to justify it to your opponent. If they ask you, like, why have none of your Sangre Guard got wings, what are you going to say? Well, I kept them off because it makes them smaller. I mean, if that's the reason, then that's modeling for advantage, right? So, I guess, like I said, it's up to you, you decide. But how do these assault guns go in? Like this. Shrike's Jump Pack. The Land Speeder has two different... If it's got two different stands, then you're fine with any. I mean, these rules are subjective. Some events are not going to care about them, some events might care about them. -1 to hit has a lot of effectiveness with a plethora... has lost a lot of its effectiveness. Yeah, that's what I think, 100%. -1 to hit when everything in the entire game basically rerolls hits or hits on 2s isn't that strong, I think. So yeah, I don't love Dante's -1 to hit at all. I think it's actually probably quite weak. And I would just like it to be changed to something that's a bit stronger. The amount of times like your entire Sangre Guard get wiped and they got in melee and they got -1 to hit, if they had 1 more toughness, it would help. We can all agree if Dante doesn't have nipples in his armor, we riot, says Marcus. I mean, I guess we could riot over no nipple armor. Is nipple armor iconic enough that they won't change it? Isn't the line of sight on base for infantry? No. Line of sight is, at the moment, you measure base to base for range, but if you've got a sword sticking over a wall and they can see the sword, then they can shoot your unit. You need to measure, you need to look from a single point on your unit to a single point on the enemy unit. Good evening, Robert Hewell. Happy hobby day, says Chris. Thank you, Chris. How you doing? Sorry, my stupid YouTube thing is messing up. There we go. Do you think an heirloom conversion without wings would be okay? I tried it. I plan to try all the Phobos Primaris models. I have no idea who heirloom is, actually. Someone tell me, who's heirloom? If he's like the Raven Guard commander guy? I never take a target I can only see the weapons of. Well, you can. I mean, the rules say you can, Mike. I take the most preferable target I can take, whether I can only see Astrath's bodyguards. Really? Because I just read the Astrath book, man, and nobody mentioned heirloom in that entire book. Unless I'm completely drawing a blank, but I literally finished Astrath, like, Astrath Angel of Mercy, like 2 weeks ago or something. He had guys with him, but I don't think they were ever called heirlooms. What have I got here? Alright, I've got this piece. Where does this go? In here. And it said don't glue that piece together. Alright, so which way is the top? This must be the top. So it must go in like this, yeah. I'm the kind of player who won't take advantage of rules which makes no sense. Well, okay. I'm the type of player that wants to win. And people, you know, if you go to some tournaments, don't you, Mike? People must take advantage of the rules against you. I like boarding actions. Line of sight is drawn from the base. It probably would make more sense to draw the line of sight from the base, wouldn't it? But I guess that's just the way 40k is at the moment, where you just draw it from a point in the model, but you measure base to base. The whole point of making heirloom is would be to give them wings because they have wings. So where were who's read Angel of Mercy? Where were the heirloom in that book? Is that an older thing? Like, is that still canon? Excuse me. If it's a friendly game, I want to take the tiny bit of the weapon. I mean, I feel really bad. I always just shoot optimal targets. If I can see you, I can see you. I'll just be like, I can see you over this one wall, or I can see you, etc., etc., so I'll shoot you. Okay, it sounds like we got a lot of stand-up players in the chat tonight. Why Baal Predators? Oh, someone also asked the question, why Baal Predators with Gilliman? Because I think it's going to be fun. Because I'm playing Iron Hands and they're ungodly broken, so I thought I would run something that's different and fun. I'm probably just going to run the Baal Predators for like 1 week. Have fun with it. And then I'm probably going to try and figure out what is the most competitive list that I can run for my Blood Angels. But like, basically the list is mainly a close combat list. Like, just because the Baal Predators is because there's 200 points at the end, and I've already got like what I've already got I've already got 6 elites. I've got 2 Death Company, I've got Sanguinary Guard, I've got Terminators, I've got Blade Guard Veterans, and I've got Centurions. So I already got 6 elites. So I got literally no more. Have you been keeping tabs on Dark Angels? Yes, I played Dark Angels at the event that I was just at, dude. They're definitely strong. I mean, they're definitely really strong. I think Blood Angels can beat them. I actually think they're more beatable than Iron Hands, honestly. And I guess, like, I've got a video coming out on Monday about my game against them at the event that was at. It's all filmed, it's just scheduled to release Monday, because Monday is usually like a quiet day on my channel, because I don't usually put anything out on Monday. So it's coming out on Monday. I think I'm aware of most of the stuff that Dark Angels can do. Yeah, they are strong, but I honestly think Iron Hands are scarier. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's the fact that... maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, or maybe it's just the cheesy lists that I have to play for Iron Hands. Maybe that's the problem. I think I'm missing a bit here. I can't find it. Alright, let me try and glue this together and see where we're at. Sounds very John, run it for 1 week and toss it back in the bin. Well, I think the interesting thing is I've never run Gilliman in an army with Blood Angels. And now, because of the changes to the way of doctrines and all that nonsense, Gilliman is going to give us the most bonus he's ever given us, right? So I think I just want to run 1 week with Gilliman and see, like... everything else, I mean, the Baal Predators are an experiment as well. I want to know if if you've got 100 points at the end of the list, and like before, with what was it going to do with 100 points? An assault squad? Sure, an assault squad could be useful. Could a Baal Predator be useful for 110? Maybe. So, Ravenwing sounds bullshit. I mean, Ravenwing are strong, but what's bullshit about them? What's good in a Dark Angels list in short? Terminators, Deathwing Terminators, Attack Bikes, Ravenwing, Land Speeders, Ravenwing, maybe Samuel. They don't need that much variance, really, it feels like. You didn't play against a strong enough Dark Angels list. I think I mean, he had, let me think. I think he had like 30 Terminators, and then maybe like 10 bikes and like 3 or 4 speeders. Like it was a decent list. It had a good variety of stuff. But I mean, it against Dark Angels like that, it's going to come down to terrain, right? Like if I can hide in obscuring terrain and he can't shoot me with all the fast attacks that he's got, and then I can jump out and trade into his Terminators, then I mean that's a good matchup for Blood Angels, but it really will come down to terrain. And I don't always like especially going to tournaments. Like, I hate going to tournaments and being reliant on terrain and being like, I need a lot of terrain or I lose this game. But I mean, that's really what it's going to come down to. They can stay on in Devastator all game. They can, yeah. They can definitely stay in Devastator all game, but I think they're an interesting one. Like, I think once you get, like, to turn 3 or 4, they probably want to be in Tactical, because you're going to have a shitload of bolter fire from, like, I don't know, 30 Deathwing Terminators. So they probably want, like, 2, maybe 3 turns in Devastator, and then they might want to move to Tactical. I don't know if they ever need to be in the Assault Doctrine. I don't think they necessarily need Assault Doctrine. Aren't Iron Hands at the best faction at the moment? They're going to be a very meta pick. They have a ton of really powerful Alpha Strike. Like, tons of really powerful Alpha Strike. Are true Baal Predators really the right answer to Iron Hands? They don't really bring a lot of infantry. That's very true. They don't bring a lot of infantry. They'll bring like a couple of squads of Eliminators. No, not Eliminators. Infiltrators. So, it's also worth noting that, like, you don't just want to take units. If you're practicing and you're trying to figure out if units are good, you don't want to run units into their best matchups all the time. It's like saying, I'm going to go to a tournament and I'm going to run, I don't know, let's say all this unit that really counters this unit, and I'm only going to practice against that player. I mean, that's going to tell you nothing. It's going to tell you that's a good unit. Whereas, like, if I take Baal Predators into Iron Hands and I come out of the battle saying those Baal Predators were really useful, then I'll probably know Baal Predators will be useful in a lot of matchups. Whereas if I come out against Iron Hands and say, well, they did nothing, then at least I'll know that they did nothing into that one matchup, and then I'll be like, right, well, I know that now they do nothing into that matchup, so does that mean I should just drop them or not consider them for other matchups, right? They don't want to go to Tactical? Well, I suppose it depends on if they've got any Devastator fire left. Like, I mean, at the end of the game, if they only got a few Cyclone Missile Launchers, it's not going to be that useful, is it? How do we feel about Aggressors or Blade Guard? I think Aggressors are probably okay. I'm not running any this week. I think at 30 points per model, they're probably worth trying, though. Blade Guard are decent enough. I mean, they're likely going to die in every game you put them into, but, like, they're likely going to be able to soak up a ton of firepower and maybe hold objectives that other units wouldn't be able to hold. So I think Blade Guard are an okay option right now. Baal Predators will soak up fire. Lets me get across the board. I mean, they will soak up some fire, right? It is Shane, it is a Baal Predator. I'm missing a bit, though, for this stupid Stormbolter. I think my other Stormbolter is missing a bit as well, so it's maybe not the end of the world. This kit has been sat for many, many years in a box at my house, though. I'm a little bit more optimistic about the box. What do you mean? I find it odd that Dark Angels are essentially 3 armies in one. I mean... yeah, I mean, I guess it's just expanded over time, hasn't it? I think they're pretty cool. I mean, I like the new box with as real, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, part of me was just tempted to buy the new box because it's cool and it would... Is it a Baal Predator? It is. Is it going to be any use in a game? Jury's out. We'll find out Wednesday night, Dracula. Tune in on Wednesday night to find out. I have no idea if it's going to be any use. Excuse me. Alright, so I can put one of these cool decals on the front of this. I guess maybe I'll do this one. Or I'll do this one. You know what, I'm going to do the one I dislike the most, so the other two are there for cooler tanks. Well, maybe not cooler tanks, but tanks that I get to field more often than Baal Predators. If you could design a new Blood Angels unit, what would it be? I think they might change something with the Doctrines. I'm going to swing the Baal Predators in reserve. I'm not entirely sure if I was going to swing them in reserves. I mean, it could be worth it now because we get the free reserves, right? I feel like I'm going to probably put some stuff in reserve for this game. These Baal Predators have little covers for those back vents. That's interesting. Never seen those before. Yeah, it's like they've got a little cover for the back vent. Okay. One day Baal Predators will be worth their weight in gold if unopened. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we should buy some more of them. The dock rule... LVO are still using Nachmund rules, by the way. They're not using anything. Like, they're still running Armor of Contempt and all that nonsense at LVO, man. Yeah, new Blood Angels unit. Design one. Interesting. I'm gonna say, this is where you see that I'm not that original. I usually do conversions. Do you know what I want? Is I want us to have a central character, like you know, like not a Primarch, but like a Primarch, like, so something big and serious and scary that don't even really know. Like, the thing I like the sound of, because people often ask, like, you know, is there are we going to get a Primarch back? Are we going to get like a Primaris Dante? Is he going to be more like a Primarch? I think what I would like to see is if we got What about like a character in that flying dreadnought from 30k? Like, you know, if all the other Space Marine chapters are getting Primarchs back, if all the demon chapters, or I was going to say the Chaos chapters, they're all getting, like, you know, they're getting all their Primarchs back. We've got Angron, we've got Mortarion, who else we got? Magnus, you know, and now there's rumours of we're getting the Lion back, and we're getting, well, they've already got Rebute. Like, if everyone's going to get their Primarch back and Blood Angels are going to be left out, I'm fine with that, but give us, like, that Dreadnought from 30k, like the flying one, and, like, make him, you know, make him super badass. Make it that, like, Dante's realised that because of our lack of Primarch, we need something insane to keep up with all these other Primarchs being on the battlefield. Like, let's say, for example, if Angron is on the battlefield, Dante can't take him 1v1, right? Dante probably knows he can't take Angron 1v1. So, like, Dante's realised that, like, we need, like, and we've got no one that can take on Angron 1v1. Like, he wouldn't send Mephiston to go fight Angron, because, like, if you know, Mephiston will die if he has to fight Angron, or whatever, right? So Dante's realised that we need something compete in a meta where there's all these Primarchs. So give us a new character in a flying dreadnought that's just a complete badass, and that's our 300 point model that's like a Primarch but obviously not, and that gives us a crazy looking cool centerpiece. Maybe he's like a named librarian dreadnought, but as well as having psychic powers, he just has actually that librarian dreadnought jump pack nonsense, so he can jump and do stuff as well. Andrew coming in with a subscription to Company Veteran. Andrew, thank you so much for that. Welcome to the channel. Please make sure you head over to, like, our Discord. You get access to the Discord. You get access to the members only room on Discord, so please come over. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I do really appreciate it. This Baal Predator has taken me way longer to make than I thought it was going to take. I thought, like, this turret is only going to take me like a half hour. I've been doing it for, like, I don't know, like an hour and 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. I'd want Dante and Mephiston to both be bought about half the strength of a Primarch. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, they're languishing a long way behind, right? You know, the Baal Predator sprue, or the Baal Predator kit's pretty cool, because, like, baked onto the actual kit, I didn't realise this until right now, we actually have, like, proper, like, Blood Angel shoulder pads. Like, it's not like a separate upgrade sprue or any of that nonsense. It's just like, hey, there's some Blood Angel shoulder pads right on the kit for your convenience. I like that. Have I had a chance to read Eternity Gate yet? No, I've just finished Mephiston. And I didn't really know which book I was going on to next. I'm sort of ready to pick a book, but I hadn't figured out what book I'm going to read next. I'm not that far into the Horus Heresy series, so if I was going to read that, I'd be jumping like 5 books forward or something. I only read Solar War so far. So I don't know if that would make a lot of sense for me to jump to Eternity Gate, right? Like book 7 or something? 6, 7? What can I get for 300 points? Oh, I mean, what's your goal, Joel? Alright. So put this thing here. Oh, Andrew, thank you so much for the kind message. I really do appreciate that. It's always nice to see new people in chat and get some new members in here, so thank you so much for that. I actually hit my member goal for January, which is very cool because, like, some months I just suck at hitting member goals. So I've doubled it. I only wanted to try and get 3 new members in January. I get 6, so thank you so much to everyone that... Oh, how's Helbrecht? I'm calling him Helguinius. And I'm getting to him as soon as I've stuck the last couple of pieces on this Baal Predator. It's very close. Two Baal Predators and a Judiciar. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'd rush out and buy Baal Predators, honestly. That's quite a big decal for that small space there, but that's fine. Someone said, if you've got 300 points and you're trying to add to a Blood Angels list, the thing that I always seem to fall back on is land speeders and attack bikes, because they synergize with our speed, and they have multi-meltas, which is like arguably the best shooting that we can put out is multi-meltas. So if I was trying to build up my force, I'd probably make sure that I had multiple attack bikes with multi-meltas, and I'd also probably try and make sure I had land speeders with multi-meltas, because these things always... It always seems like when you're trying to make a list, there's always room for 100 points or 50 points, and an attack bike or a land speeder can always fill the little gaps, and they're always useful. And they keep your enemy honest. You know, if you can have an attack bike in strategic reserve or a land speeder in strategic reserve, it just means if they ever have a character or something that goes off to the side of the board by himself, then sometimes you can just kill the character outright instantly. Come in from reserve, 2 multi-meltas or 2 multi-melta shots right in the face. If one of them sneaks through an invulnerable save, or if they've got no invulnerable save, it's usually a dead character. I've done that with a land speeder before against a chaos demon. Against a... not a chaos demon. What are the demons you get? I've got one behind me, hold on. My brain is failing me tonight. What the fuck is it called? A Demon Prince. Yeah, I've done that to Demon Prince before. Demon Princes are -1 damage. They're notoriously difficult to kill. I've brought in a land speeder from strategic reserve and just instantly popped it for like I did that. Brought in the land speeder from reserve. Both barrels into the Demon Prince, hit both times, wound both times, he failed both saves. I was within 9 inches, so I'm getting the +2 to the damage. I rolled a double 6. So there you go, 60 point model coming in from reserve, instantly does 14 damage to Demon Prince. That can be huge. I've always, and I mean I've done that at tournaments and stuff, there's always value in a cheeky attack bike in strategic reserve. Trust me. Doesn't always work, but if you play 5 games over the tournament, you can almost guarantee it's coming in at least once, and it's going to blow something up at least once. Plus, something like that can be really useful later in the game as well. Like if you're trying to get models off the backfield, you just need a cheap model to come in and like quickly move onto an objective and secure it for you while other models move forward. That's something else land speeders or attack bikes can do as well, pretty effectively. Yeah, I've never seen these pieces before in the back, like little extra grates. Cool. All right, I'll put them on there if they're you know, if they're with the kit or whatever. I'll put them on. John is testing out Baal Predators for the rest of the chapter. I'm not expecting them to do amazing. But 100 points or 110 points, we'll give them a run out. Why not? It's almost part of me is almost like I just wanted to pick the Baal Predator because I knew this one had been sat in the box for like a decade, and it was like, it's been in the box for a decade. It deserves to be finished, right? I think it's probably, it says 2009 on the sprue, so I think it's probably been in the box a little bit more than a decade. Terminators seem to be good. I think Terminators will see a lot more play this season than they saw in the last few seasons, which I don't think is a bad thing. I like Terminators. Alright, so we just got this one hole here, I think, and that'll be us done. What can I put in that hole? What are my options? Yeah, this is the last page, so it's just a case of filling up that hole, and I think I'll just fill it up with oh right, I can fill it up with a piece that can have the hunter-killer missile put into it. I think this is how you... I didn't actually see the instructions for building the hunter-killer, but I think this is what this is for. So you put this in here. I mean, you could have mounted a stormbolter on there, but I think that's... Where's the hunter-killer? Yeah, that's it. This is for the hunter-killer. Alright, fuck it. We'll model it with the hunter-killer. And that'll be it done. What do we think of Eradicators with Assault Meltas coming in from reserve? I mean, it's the same as bringing in the attack bites from reserve, right? It's very decent, especially if you can put them within the half range of the multi-melta, so you're getting that +2. It's certainly very decent. If you had a captain or something, you could also get within range to give them rerolls 1. It's also really good. I don't remember if Blood Angel, because we normally aren't a shooting army, I don't remember if there's any way we can pay some CP to prevent the -1 to hit from... Oh, they're assault, yeah, so you'd hit on 3s. Yeah, it's the heavy ones you would take the -1 penalty on. I mean, Eradicators in reserve is decent. It's definitely viable. I think it's competitive. 135 points. If you can put in a multi-melta in there as well, if you've got the multi-part kit with the multi-melta, then I think it's really good. I never bought the multi-part kit of Eradicators, but if they keep that where the multi-melta is free for like more than a season, because the Eradicators I got were with Indomitus when they had like no weapon options. I think I'd probably want to buy a squad of Eradicators, just because, I mean, that's like, correct me if I'm wrong, if you bring in 3 of them for 135 points, you're getting what? 8 melta shots essentially? Yeah, so if you can hit on 3s, reroll 1s, it's generally very good. Good evening, Short Round. What do you think about putting a chaplain in Terminator armor coming in from reserve with Thunderhammer Terminators? I mean, anything you can do to make your Terminator's deep strike charge more effective is generally going to be useful. So if you're going to take the stratagem to give you Canticle of Hate when you arrive after your deep strike, so that you have the 7-inch charge, and then maybe you even want like Icon of the Angel on your chaplain so that you can reroll your charges for core and characters. Well, actually, I think Icon of the Angel doesn't care about core characters. I think it's just anything rerolls charges, anything Blood Angels. So, yeah, I think anything you can do to make that charge distance lower for Deep Strike is generally going to be useful. I've run Terminators at tournaments with Deep Strike, with the sort of like no buffs or nothing. You know, just you need the 9, but you get +1, so really you need an 8. It's not too bad. It's a 66% chance if you've got the command point for a reroll. So if you go to a tournament and you do it every game, you probably expect it to work like 3 out of 5 times. It's not bad. How do you feel about the new Desolation with the rumoured ignore line of sight? Isn't that just indirect fire then? I don't know anything more about the Desolator squad, to be honest. But, I mean, ignore line of sight is just indirect fire, and indirect fire isn't that good right now, unless you're Imperial Guard. If they give the Desolators suppression fire, that would be good. I mean, that'd be cool. That would just give us an option to have a damaging unit, because the Whirlwind doesn't do any damage, right? That's the biggest problem with the Whirlwind. It doesn't do any damage whatsoever. The Desolators are going to be souped up whirlwinds on foot. Yeah, I mean, cool. I'm probably, like I said, I'm probably going to buy that new box. Like, I think it, like, anytime there is a new Marine box, regardless if I have a bunch of the stuff already, probably just going to buy it. I don't love that they put the new releases in limited edition boxes like that for sort of 6 months or even longer. I mean, they're a business and they need to sell models. We all love the models and we want the game to be healthy, so probably going to buy it, even though I own half of all the stuff that's on the box already. I guess, well, someone was already on here saying that they were making Gravis into Terminators with conversions, so maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll convert my you know what, if I put that there like that, the turret can't go on straight. That's not ideal. I haven't thought this through, apparently. The mold lines on some of these old models is tragic as well. Like, I'm not going to get all of them off because I don't have like 3 weeks to find them all. But yeah, some of the mold lines on here are pretty tragic. Right, how's that look? I mean, it's not ideal that it won't go straight. Okay, I've had to glue them in the other way. No, because it's... I mean, is that going to annoy me that it can't be straight? Might. What we'll do is we'll leave this bit off. Maybe I'll put a magnet or something on that bit so I can add the hunter killer missile or take it away. Most of the time you're not... I think once hunter killer missiles get costed again, I'm probably... I mean, I never use one-shot weapons for 5 points. I'd always rather like run an infernal pistol, so fuck it. Hunter killer can stay off. Alright, I'll spray that tomorrow and I'll be ready for the game, I guess, on Wednesday. That's the plan. Adrian really dislikes the hunter killer missile. It's not good. Maybe if they made it, like, they need to make it D3 plus 3. It's kind of stupid it's D6 damage. I'm not going to pay 5 points on a D6 damage one shot. One whole blinking shot, you know? Alright, there they are. Will they do anything in the game? I have no idea. We'll find out. I just need to file that a little bit more. actually will this file reach? Almost. Maybe go the other way. I mean, if it costs points on the standard Predator and the Baal Predator is free, then it just means that a lot of people. I feel like we're definitely getting 10th edition. Some people are saying like they really want 10th edition next year. I think that we're definitely getting 10th edition because a lot of the recent books or rules, they feel to me like they're a little half-baked, right? Like they're not. You know, they've missed a few things here and there. I think the Plasma Inceptors was the reason that. But I think they're half-baked because it was like Plasma Inceptors were reduced in points for like no time at all. Random Game Kid, hello, thanks for tuning in. Good evening. You have to attack the ball on the right. Why do you have to attack the ball on the right? Because it's grey. I'll get some. I'll get a quick spray of it tomorrow. I've got some red spray paint. Why pay for hunter killer missiles when Las Cannon Devastators are cost 150 points? Las Cannons are so unreliable though. At tournament play, I feel like you can't. D6 damage at tournament play is like, it's just tragic. That's why probably one of the reasons that Space Marines have been hurt so bad is like, if all of our Las Cannons and stuff were like D3 plus 3, I feel like we would be doing great, or way better, because D6 is just terrible, honestly. It's tragic. It doesn't work. Especially like, you know, there's some named characters that have double las cannon, like there's the Bjorn for Space Wolves, and like on paper you think, oh cool, he's got double las cannon, he hits on 2s. What actually happens is he spends the whole game failing to wound or something, then when he finally does wound, he rolls a 1 for damage, and it's like, wow, what a waste of fucking time that was. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit of painting. What's the time? 11:34. Jesus, late. I'm gonna buy the thing that makes this camera stop having such a shit frame rate as well. What's up with that? I don't know why it's failing tonight, or why it's having such a bad frame rate. Who knows? Right, Grimaldus. Or Helguinius, as I'm now calling him. I'd rather Las Cannons just be D3. Why? They need to be D3 plus 3, or Chaos's Las Cannons got made D6 plus 2, right? I mean, either's fine with me, but D6 alone is just trash. D6 alone means like I just don't think they're valid. I don't think you can play them competitively, period. Because if you're playing competitively, one of the things that I usually say this, one of the least valuable things you can spend command points in a tournament on is re-rolling like a damage roll. It's like it's the worst way to spend your command points. It's like, it honestly is the least valuable way you can spend command points. And yeah, that's essentially what you have to do with Las Cannons, which for me makes them completely useless. Alright, is this gonna actually work? Yeah, maybe. I need to grab this cable. GW should have never left D6 Las Cannons in a game this long. Yeah, I mean, you know, they wonder why Space Marines aren't doing so well. I mean, when you give every other army in the meta D3 plus 3 all the way, you know, loads of things have D3 plus 3, right? Or loads of armies like that. Now we just do not. Alright, let me put... let me make a start on Algonius. I'm going to start him, actually. We'll do the sword. We'll get 2 paintbrushes here. I'm going to do the sword and the base. I need to remember to not try and shape paints with my right arm. Holy shit, that's sore. I'm getting to the point now where, like, I'm able to do a lot more with the right arm, so I start doing things without thinking about it, and then I'm like, fuck, that's so sore. Space Marines aren't doing well because of the proficiency of armor and how that works. Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. I think that's probably the bigger problem, Turkey. Not being able to return fire at the same rate that everybody else can return fire with those multiple damage weapons doesn't help either, right? So this guy's going to be Blood Angel's colours. And he's going to be called Helguinius. I'm going to come up with some sort of story for his chapter. Watch this space. I promise you I'm going to come up with something. Yeah, so this is going to be my proxy for Guilliman on Wednesday. I had no idea that Helbrecht was on the same size base as Guilliman, which I think is kind of crazy, considering Dante's on like a 32. When you compare this guy's base to Dante, it's like you'd almost fit like 4 Dantes in on this guy's size base. And I mean, you know, his rules are similar, he's just toughness 4. I think he's got a couple extra wounds over Dante. But he is actually cheaper in points as well. Like he's, I think he's 25 points cheaper than Dante, which I hate actually, because like I think he, like, in combat, if he went against Dante, he probably wins, because he's got the 3 damage weapon. So the only thing Dante has over him is a little bit of speed, really. And I'm not sure the speed makes up for... His Meltagun's also better as well, because it's like he gets the +2 even on max range on his Meltagun. You need to... Do you know what? Someone was asking earlier about like what we want for Primaris Dante. I want him to have the Perdition Pistol again, because the Perdition Pistol, I think, was the named Infernal Pistol that he had. It was the first ever Infernal Pistol in Warhammer 40k. And as such, I believe it was supposed to be a better pistol, right? Oh, I used to play Star Wars RPG on Roll20, like during the pandemic. We haven't done it in a long time though. Would you get money from Twitch Prime? Unfortunately, no, because that would be a kind offer, Ken, but to be an affiliate on Twitch, you have to put all your content out first on Twitch, and it has to be out there for 24 hours before it can be on any other platform, which is kind of dumb. I mean, I guess that's their way of getting you to prioritize Twitch, but I mean, my channel is more a YouTube channel, and there's no such restriction on YouTube, so like I can dual stream to Twitch, but I can't make any money off Twitch. But thank you for that. Thanks for the question, Ken. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm not. Unfortunately, I can't. Twitch did email and they were like, you can become affiliated, but when you start reading into it, I was like, oh wow, so you would have to do your video on Twitch, then wait 24 hours and upload it on YouTube, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. All my community are already on YouTube, so I'm not changing that. Mad how good the sword looks. I mean, it's just I think this guy is going to look dope. I think he's going to look dope, honestly. I'm going to probably go with gold armor. Maybe I'll do some Dawnstone on his feet first. I don't disagree regarding the prevalence of D6 instead of D3 plus B. I do think it's a fundamental issue for Marines this edition. I think the armor problem is... Armor of Contempt just showed how much the armor problem is for Marines, and also how much, like, Black Templars, like, just how good that... Like, you give the entire army a 5-up against everything, because that's what Black Templars have, right? And they also have a 5-up against all mortals. And suddenly Marines are like scary as shit, right? Or like look at Dark Angels. People are talking about Dark Angels. You give half the army basically like transhuman, and you give the other half of the army invulnerable saves, and then people are like, holy shit. And also if you stand still, you get +1 to hit. So like it's kind of mad how these little things quickly add up, and you're right, it just shows that like some chapters that don't get this sort of stuff are being really weak or poor, like all edition, and then like these other chapters with just very minor changes are like legitimately like crazy strong. I guess Iron Hands are going to show that. I'm surprised we haven't seen any Iron Hands win events yet, but you know, Iron Hands have been retired from competitive play for like a year or two, so maybe it's just taking those players a little time to figure out what they need to be good again. Because when I played Andrew's Iron Hands list, it just like a few people in the YouTube chat were like, wow, that game felt horrific, and I was like, yeah. I mean, you've got Death Company in cover, you know, so like in cover you usually get +1 to your save, so you're saving on 2s, and I'm not even getting to roll a saving throw. It's just like, no, these are -5, you don't get to save against that. I'm like, fucking hell. And that was happening like the entire game. Yeah, it reminds me of Retributors, because Retributors for Sisters of Battle ignore cover, so you'd have units in cover, and if they were ever hit with Retributors, it was just like, oh my god, these units are dead, because Retributors just ignore cover. Dark Angels are stronger than Iron Hands. I don't know, Reziel, I'd like to see I mean, I can realistically now field a pretty strong Black Templars list, I feel like, right? And that was why I was kind of thinking, like, maybe I should just buy that Azrael box set, and then I could, you know, I could proxy all the Terminators as Deathwing, so I can and I've got loads of speeders and shit, so I can almost field Dark Angels army. You know, like, it's like I only need a few pieces here and there to be able to field some of these other armies. Just for like balancing purposes and knowing what's really strong, it would help me, because Mark always says, like, when you go to a tournament, you win or lose by knowing not just your own army, but you also need to know every army you play against. You need to know a lot about every army you play against, right? Like, you need to know their ups and downs, you need to know how to counter them. So we'll see over the next few years if there is, like, let's say for example White Scar's got like 2 new characters or something and a new codex, and all of a sudden like jumpy, fast moving White Scars with Outriders are amazing. Like, maybe I just need to get that, so I've got it, I can field it, I can know exactly what it can do, and then when you're sat here saying to me like Dark Angels are stronger than Iron Hands, I can be like, oh yeah, I agree or I disagree, like, because I can't, my experience, because I've played both Dark Angels in Arcs of Omen and I've played Iron Hands in Arcs of Omen. Different players, of course, but neither player felt like Andrew isn't a weak player. He plays like cheesy lists where he really wants to win, and he plays like win at all cost lists. But he's not a weak player. I don't think anyone would say Andrew is a weak player. He maybe leans a little bit too hard into what he thinks or what he perceives as overpowered. But I've been at a few tournaments with Andrew, and I've also seen, like, I think Andrew's highest ever placing was like a 100-player tournament. Like, it was a big tournament, and he came third with Iron Hands. And I mean, I played the Iron Hands list, and when he came third, it was a horrific list, right? Like, it was like, so all I know is I've played both of them, and I don't think either of them are weak players. And I think that I felt, on paper, Iron Hands were scarier for me. It'd be interesting if I played Iron Hands on the exact same terrain as I played Deathwing / Dark Angels, because I probably maybe had a little bit of a better game on that because of terrain. But I think the thing to remember with terrain is you can't control it, and I think what's going on at LVO at the moment kind of is indicative of that, right? Like, where, like, there's people at LVO, and I've been watching some of the Twitter threads, and people are saying, like, they're not enjoying the event because of the nonsense that's going on with the terrain, which is sad, because one of the guys that I follow has travelled to that event from Scotland. Actually, he's gone all the way there from Scotland, and he said, like, he just got onto a table with terrain that he was like, well, this is an unwinnable game for me because of the terrain. And I was like, oh man, imagine paying all that money, flying all the way around the world, and then it's like you just get a table where it's like, yeah, you just have no chance of winning this game. And that happens at tournaments, sure, but if it happens because it's, you know, if it happens because it's a bad matchup, I can sort of deal with it. If it happens because the terrain at the tournament was that bad, it's like, it's very frustrating. I've got, see, when I post my game, because I played Tau on Abandoned Sanctuaries at the event that I won, and honestly, like, the Tau player should have probably won the game. I feel like he definitely should have won the game. He was a little too cautious because he'd played my Blood Angels before, and if he knew that if I get any unit into combat, I'm just going to eat it alive. So he knew about that. So he played very cautious. He played well. He basically tabled me while keeping, I would say, 1,500 points of his army alive. But he needed to sacrifice some units to hold a little bit more in primary, and then he'd have won the game. But it just shows, like, after that game at that event, I was just like, I went and said to my teammates, I was like, I scored 85 against the Tau and I got the victory, but, like, because it was a team event, you know, so they choose, like, you choose who plays who on each table. And I was like, you put me on a table against Tau with no obscuring terrain in the middle of the table, and basically every turn he just blowing my shit away, and I'm not doing any damage to him. All I'm doing is, like, trying to score primaries. So this is a game where, like, at the end of the game I had like 3 models left, and he had like 1,500 points of stuff left. I was like, this is like the most stressful game ever. And if that had been like a solo event, you know, like, I don't know how I would have, like, refocused after a game like that, maybe, because it's just like, you can get those matchups where you're just like, fucking hell, this is, you know, like, I didn't know if I was going to win the whole game, because I was like, the only way I win is if I beat him on scoring. And yeah, it was I'll have it on the channel probably in the next week or so you can watch it. And yeah, I just hate it. And I know Blood Angels are a trading army, but that was taking the piss. That's like you're trading 2 or 3 units every turn for 4 points. You're just like, war of attrition here, like, how can I hold on? So I think I'm going to give him a red cloak, and then I'm going to give him gold armor. I hadn't thought about anything beyond that, really. What model is that? This is Black Templar's model. He is High Marshal Helbrecht, I think is his actual title. I've converted him into a Blood Angel. He's got a Blood Angel's shoulder pad here. He's got a Blood Angel's thing on his chest. He's got the Blood Angel's wings. And I'm calling him Helguinius. I'm going to make him a backstory. And obviously I'm going to run him as a Black Templar for sure. But like, I'm going to make him a backstory. We're gonna have a new chapter. Are they a new chapter? I'm going to call them the Blood Templars. Or the Templars of Blood or something like that. If anyone knows anything about that, I think I googled it before, and I think there is a chapter called the Templars of Blood. So maybe I need to give them a bit of a lore, make a video about it, and have a bit of fun with it. I think. After not being allowed to paint for like, well, it was not that I wasn't allowed to paint. It was like I have a broken arm and I wasn't able to paint. So this is the first time in about 6 weeks that I've actually been able to like put paint on a model fairly quickly and reasonably accurately again. It feels like I haven't really lost any of my hand-eye coordination. So I'm just laying down some base coats just now, just so I can get them on the table, I guess. I'll probably go back over this rock formation with Mechanicum Standard Grey, because this Dawnstone is quite light, but putting the Mechanicus Standard Grey over the top will really bring it up. Scarlet Crusade, that's not a bad idea actually, that's very World of Warcraft though. Give him a Hazard Stripe cloak, says Chris. Chris, you come over here and paint the Hazard Stripes, right? And he can have a Hazard Stripe cloak. Crimson Crusaders, I actually like that. Templars of Blood is a successor chapter. Crimson Crusaders is cool. I was trying to put blood into the name though, because Blood Angels, or I was trying to put angels into the name because Blood Angels. So we could maybe go with the Crimson Crusaders. Red Templars. There are Red Templars. I really hope that if we do get a new, like, seriously big Blood Angel model, we get some sort of cool ass scenic base like this, because we don't really get any scenic bases. Like, sometimes I was gonna say we have like the Sanguiner on like a little rock or something. Dante's just like standing on his base, he's very boring. I hope we get some sort of cool scenic bases. There's been some that I've done with scenic bases, like from the standard stuff. Like, I think, do you know what, the ones that we get that have the most scenic bases are actually like our chapter specific librarians, I think. Like the Furioso slash Librarian Dreadnought are the only things that we really have that sort of have bases that are a bit more custom. I mean, they're the most basic scenic bases, aren't they? There's barely anything on them. The Sanguine Templars, says Stellars. Yeah, I'll come up with something. If there's no lore for like one of those custom chapters, then maybe I should make a video and make it. The problem is, like, sometimes they put lore and stuff into White Dwarf, and I don't collect White Dwarf. I used to collect it many years ago, but I haven't collected it in years. So if there's custom stories in White Dwarf and stuff, then I'm not clued up on them. Alright, cheap and cheerful base in here. I'll just make him look like he's not standing on a black nothing. You give that like a minute to dry, and then I'll get onto some other colours on him. I always use the texture paint, and then like a dry brush and a bit of a wash on the rest of the base. So, but I usually add that like last. So I generally just throw down some Xandri dust to begin with, so that there's like something there. Also, I mean, like, that texture paint can be a bit of a nightmare, so by throwing down the one coat of Xandri dust, it means that you don't really need to worry too much about, like, full coverage on the texture paint, right? Oh yeah, Mephiston has a scenic base. Yeah. It's not that... Most of it's covered by him standing on it, though, but it has got, like, some cool Blood Angel, like, there's some... He's standing on some sort of Blood Angel insignia or something like that, right? I did Mephiston, like, right after he came out, so at this point that's probably, like, 2 years ago? I think he came out in 2020, right? So maybe almost 3 years ago. So actually, I have a giant spotlight in this room, so paint actually tends to dry really quickly. Now let me put this guy over under the spotlight. He'll dry over there real quick. Lamartis has a tactical rock, yeah, but I mean, these sort of bases now are just on another level, aren't they? Like, look at the size of this thing. It just makes the character so much more imposing. It's cool, man, I like it. It doesn't matter if a successor exists, make up your own. Yeah, that's true as well, Rez. That's most definitely true. Alright, I was messing with some of these guys the other night. Heavy intercessors and stuff. I was just putting a bit of paint on their base. Probably want to slap a bit of paint on their guns as well, but... I get so much stuff on my painting table right now, guys. It's ridiculous. Every new season, it's like, I'm just going to have a million different models that I want to paint. Oh well. What can you do, huh? I've got heavy intercessors here, I've got firstborn terminators here, I've got 2 Baal Predators, I've got a repulsor, I've got Hellbreak, I've got Chapter Master, sorry. I've got Hellbreak, I've got Grimaldus. I'm wanting that new Dreadnought, I'm wanting those new missile troops. I'm not actually sure how competitive those new missile troops are, but I'm wanting them. And then I'm wanting to do the boarding actions terrain, so we can play some boarding actions on the stream. I'm probably going to commission that to Mike, because if I try and add that to the already ridiculous list of stuff that I have, it's never going to get done. And I do want to do boarding actions on the stream in the near future, because I think sometimes, you know, like, our games on stream take like hours and hours and hours, and as a parent myself, sometimes I feel like I wouldn't watch my own stream because I wouldn't have time. But sometimes I want to watch 40k, but I don't have 3 hours. Like on a weekend, I sometimes get an hour without the kids. So people always ask me like, hey, did you watch this battle report at the weekend? Or hey, did you watch LVO at the weekend, right? Am I doing Templars? Yeah, I was doing some Templars. I'm just bouncing between various different models at the moment because the new season has me wanting to paint all the things. So yeah, so sometimes on the weekend, like, I get an hour. So like, I was thinking to myself, like, I would watch my own battle reports if it was boarding actions and it was an hour. I can't watch my own battle reports if they're like 4 hours, right? So I'm not going to do it every week, but once we get boarding action rules and I commission this terrain, I think like at least 1 week a month we might do boarding actions. We might even do 2 games if it only takes an hour, and if people just want to catch 1 game, they can catch 1 game. I think it would be cool. I honestly think it would be quite cool. So yeah, we're gonna commission boarding actions for sure. So I've got do you know what? In all the characters that I just mentioned, I also, when I bought these heavy intercessors, I shared the box because originally, remember, I don't know why I do this, honestly, right? Are those heavy intercessors? Yes, they are indeed. I don't know why I do this. Good evening, Quicks, by the way. So they released these heavy intercessors in a kill team box. So you had to buy the kill team box, and by buying the kill team box, you got some Necrons. And they released, like, so if you wanted these heavy intercessors before they came on sale for themselves, you had to buy the kill team box. Which actually, I think when you buy the kill team box and you split it with somebody else, it was actually pretty much the same price. As it would be if you ended up buying the heavy intercessors and the characters separately, because you got a character in here and he's the Death Company. So he's not Death Company at all, sorry. He's a Primaris captain with a heavy bolt rifle, and he's pretty cool. And I guess he's a Gravis captain, so you'd get that Primaris fighting styles, I think, maybe, or you would be able to use him as that captain with the Primaris fighting styles. And so I bought that box early because I was like, ooh, I need to buy this box early so I can get the heavy intercessors. And then it's like, here we are, probably like 2 years later, finally putting some paint on the heavy intercessors. And let's be fair, it's not much paint. All I've done is sprayed them red, Mephiston red, given the armor one coat of Evil Sun Scarlet. That's why the armor's a little bit more red than the gun, because the gun would have just been sprayed. And then just put something on the base. And that's like, I've done that like 2 years later. It's like, so why did I rush out early to get my hands on the heavy intercessors early? I always do this. Like I said, it'll be the same with the new box. That new box will go on sale with the Brutalis Dreadnought, and I'll be like, holy shit, it's on sale. I need that new box with the Brutalis Dreadnought, so I'll buy it on day one. It'll get delivered to me. If it gets, let's just say that comes out in like 2 months' time. If that gets delivered to me in 2 months' time, the current backlog on my painting table is about 1,000 points. It takes me 6 months to paint 1,000 points. So there's almost no point me buying it early, because I won't get any of it painted before, or unless I just throw something that's on the painting table onto the backlog and be like, right, you have to go in the backlog, and then that just creates even more of a backlog. But I do it to myself every time. Dirty Wizard says, I'm tempted to paint some Knights of Blood. Senator Jew is a badass in the Devastation of Baal. The Knights of Blood are extinct now, right? Maybe that's what this chapter should be called, because the Knights of Blood got wiped out. So maybe they got Primaris reinforcements. Who knows, right? How does that work if a chapter got... You know how like Knights of Blood got wiped out, but who's to say that the Knights of Blood weren't getting Primaris reinforcements? They were in, they were with Gilliman, they maybe just got delayed in the warp. Who's to say that? How does that even work? So I know some of the... In the Astrath book, there's a chapter called the Red Wings, and I'd never heard of the Red Wings, but they 100% exist, and they got Primaris reinforcements after Devastation of Baal, right? Lace is keen to see some boarding action games. Yeah, I'm keen to try it. Without transhuman and boarding actions, is the gap between Thunderhammer and Terminators in Bladeguard widened? Interesting question, I guess. I suppose it depends on what you're playing, right? Thunderhammers might have less value in boarding actions because you're probably going to have more models with less wounds, so swords might actually be better. So having more attacks from Bladeguard veterans in boarding actions might be better than Thunderhammers. And the other thing is, squad size in boarding actions is very tricky, whereas like Terminators will always need to be in a 5 or a 10. Like you cannot have smaller than that. Whereas Bladeguard you can have in a 3, because that's the minimum size that you can take them. So if you only got 100 points at the end of your list, then Bladeguard might actually be really interesting in boarding actions, I feel like. Brazil says, also the fear of missing out was a waste. You can get the heavy intercessors anytime. Yeah, I mean, all those new boxes prey on the fact that there's the fear of missing out, in that if you don't get the new box, it might not come, the new models might not be available to you for 6 months. So I guess you have to decide how valuable that is to you. I'll probably get them early, because I always do, but they may end up sitting in the box for a while. I still have not finished painting my Outriders from Indomitus, because I think Outriders are trash. I've still not finished painting my Suppressors from Shadowspear. I actually traded some stuff to get a second squad of Suppressors, because they're like, wow, Suppressors could be good for Blood Angels. They're not, they're trash. They might be okay for Iron Hands, surprisingly. Maybe even Dark Angels. If you're saying that you can stick in Devastator all game, then maybe suppressors are decent for Dark Angels too. But yeah, like if a model ends up having trash rules, then I start painting it, then I play it a couple of times, then I'm like, wow, these models' rules are trash, and then that's what happens. They get put onto the back burner and never used, I guess. Soul Drinkers are back. They went Renegade. I feel like holding up on the Augustus box set. The only one image from the Blood Angels feels like we got a box with ours in it. I have no idea, I suppose. Inks is waiting on Vashtor. Yeah, he's in the... Is he... Did they say... Is Vashtor in that Dark Angels box? I did look at that very briefly, like, yesterday morning, and that's when I was sort of thinking to myself, like, should I just get this Dark Angels box as well? It would give me more options, and it would also, I guess, let me see how some of these people rate up on the battlefield, because like loads of people are saying Dark Angels are super strong, and I was like, well, see, when I play Dark Angels, I feel like I do alright. I think you just have to use your speed against, like, kill their speedy stuff, or ignore their speedy stuff, and then use your speed against their non-speedy stuff. Might be easier said than done, right? Suppressors would be crap for Dark Angels. See, that's exactly why I thought, like, maybe I just need to buy this so I can run it. Yeah, handle on it all. I was thinking maybe I need to go give my 1,000 Suns a bit more love. How is this? I have a painting handle right here, right? I assume this painting handle is useless for that size of model, is it? Will it? I don't think it goes any further, right? I mean, yeah, it doesn't go much further than a heavy intercessor, I guess. I just started painting the Command Edition in Blood Angels flavor. No idea how to do the Primaris Captain in Blood Angels. What Primaris Captain is it? What weapon options has he got? It's funny, Rez, because I play against 3 different Dark Angels players. In the local scene at the tournament that I go to, there's a Scot guy that you've seen on stream. There's Carl, and who goes heavier into Deathwing, and then there's the guy that I played this time at the event, who I think his name was Chris, and he went like half Ravenwing, half Deathwing. He had like 30 Deathwing Terminators, give or take. So that's about 1,000 points, and then the rest was all Ravenwing. It wasn't quite 30. I think it was like 5 with Thunderhammers, 5 with Relics, another 5 Relics, a command squad of like 2 with Thunderhammers, and then a command squad with like 3 or 4 with Thunderhammers. I think Suppressor would be very good in Iron Hands, yeah, so do I. Simon, the only character that has to play more for a jump pack or similar is a Demon Prince has to pay the same. Like a Demon Prince gets like 2 more inches of movement for if you give him wings, and they cost like 30 points. So yeah, for some reason our Sanguinary Priest has a really expensive jump pack, which makes no sense. And yeah, okay, DTM says it's 35 points for the wings on the Demon Prince, and they only give you 2 more inches of movement. Yes, you can fly, but 35 points for just 2 more inches is kind of insane. You need a bigger painting handle. I didn't even know there was a bigger painting handle, is there? You buy it on the Games Workshop site, or you have to third party it? Let's do this guy's cloak, I think. Mephiston Red. Mephiston Red. 2 inches for Death Guard, 4 inches for 1,000 Suns. Not sure why they're different, but they are the same cost. Yeah, Games Workshop don't like flying models, apparently. They're just going to charge you more to fly or something. This pot of red, I think, is on its last legs. Okay, a little bit more watery than I would like. I probably added water to it because it was all gloopy and thick at the bottom of the pot. This cloak reminds me of painting Mephiston's cloak. I think for Mephiston I did the same, like a red cloak, and then I think I freehanded a gold trim onto it, which worked pretty well. Maybe we'll do something similar. We're definitely need a few thin coats of this red for sure though. I haven't played Scott in ages actually. Yeah, maybe I'll reach out to him. I'll find out if he's doing the tournament in March and ask him if he wants a practice game. I mean, I'll ask him to bring a strongest tournament list. Whether or not he goes all Ravenwing or Deathwing or whatever is really up to him. I mean, he'll be running... If he's going to the event, I know he's a competitive player because when he played me on my stream before that last tournament and I was running like all the Volkite Dreadnoughts, when we went to the tournament he'd mixed a couple of Volkite Dreadnoughts into his Dark Angels because he was like, those Volkites are just crazy for mortal wounds at like 45 inches. And at that point in the meta I think the Volkites were generally pretty good for any Space Marine faction. Like everybody was running them, White Scars were running them, Blood Angels were running them, Ultramarines were running them. But yeah, he put some into his army after we played. Good evening from Canada. Here's wishing you the best in painting. Well, thank you. Hello Canada. It's actually getting kind of late here. It's like midnight. So usually this is a sort of time that my eyes start glaring over from painting, where it's like my eyes just start going fuzzy and I can't refocus. But I did get new glasses just before I broke my arm, so maybe that was the problem. I was so lucky that like I got new glasses, but because they're brand new, I wasn't wearing them when I was skateboarding, and like I'm short-sighted. Is that right? So I can see things that are far away fine. I can't see close up. So because the glasses were like brand new and the kids are always messing around, and I always worry that like with new glasses they get scratched straight away. So the day that I was skateboarding to work where I fell and broke my arm, my new glasses were in the glasses case in my backpack, which is just random. Like they could have totally been on my face and I probably like smashed up my new glasses like a week after I got them. Hey Tony, good night, thanks for hanging out. I got lucky with my glasses, that's for sure. But yeah, so as I was saying, I can still see at midnight. My vision hasn't gone all well, my vision hasn't turned to crap yet and got all blurry, so that's good. Yeah, this paint is very thin. This is going to be a 3-4 thin coat jobber, I think. Am I using Blood Angel's contrast? No, I'm using like a really old tub of Mephiston Red. I don't paint very much stuff in Mephiston Red. I usually use Evil Sun Scarlet for my red armor. It's more like 2nd edition red, like it's that sort of like brighter, less grimdark red. So when I actually come to use Mephiston Red, I don't use it for that much. So this pot's just a really old pot, and I think probably it's all gloopy in the bottom. So I added water to the pot to sort of keep it alive. And I think as such, I think I've added too much water to the pot, but I mean it's kept the paint alive, so it's fine. I'll just do an extra coat on it when it dries, or an extra. It's not like I'm used to not doing multiple coats, because I usually spray my Sangre Guard gold and then paint the white wings on them, and sometimes that can be like 5 coats of nonsense to try and get all the. Maybe if I ever make more Sangre Guard, I maybe need to maybe need to try and cover their wings with like I don't know, masking tape or something when I spray them gold. Because that was kind of the only reason that I didn't spray this guy gold, because I want his armor to be gold, and I like to spray gold over the top of black, because I think it's kind of like the same as the zenithal highlight sort of thing you can do. But I was like, I'm not sure I'm up for painting like shitloads of coats over the whole rest of the model, because the gold will be shining through. But I think this red will be fine. I'll just need an extra coat or two. That's kind of where I'm standing with it. But like, so that you guys can see this, I have a giant spotlight. Like, if I turn my camera, you'll see it, right? Like, it's giant. Like, it's such a bright light. Like, it completely washes out the camera on my face. Like, so sometimes if any of it's caught by my camera, you can't see my face. So this giant light actually makes this room like crazy hot. So even though like the paint will dry like so fast, it's not a problem. I refuse to paint assembled models. I only paint assembled. But I only really paint battle ready Ken, so at some point I don't know, I just declare them battle ready and they're done. I think the hardest thing that I found with Warhammer in general is knowing when I can say like, yeah, that model's done, you know, it's battle ready, I'm not doing any more time or effort on it. Knowing that, or being able to do that, is possibly one of the most difficult parts of the hobby, right? Also, I guess if you paint assembled, it means you aren't painting anything that nobody can see, right? So you do possibly save some time. Like in here, round behind the legs and stuff like that, like no one's ever really going to see that part of the cape. So, not wasting any time. I don't know. I tried sub-assemblies before, but I always end up fucking them up when I try and glue them, so I don't bother anymore. Alright, I'll let the cape dry and then we'll get another proper coat on it in a few minutes. Or maybe that'll have to be tomorrow, since it is almost half midnight. I'm sure my daughter will wake me up nice and early, you know? You're going to paint Hellwitch armor gold. Yeah, that was the plan. Thought that would be very Blood Angels. I need a thinner brush to paint gold for sure. I'll start by maybe painting a leg gold and see how difficult it is. I'm trying to think. I think normally when I paint gold, I paint Dawnstone first. I think. Well, I mean, I normally spray gold. I normally don't just out and out paint. If a model's going to be gold for me, normally I would spray it gold. Spray all my Sanguinary Guard gold. When I did my Blade Guard, I definitely sprayed them gold as well. So I actually have no idea how good Retributor armor covers over black. Yeah, I know it'll need a couple of coats as well, won't it? You can see straight away that the black will still be there. I guess that's fine. I guess this guy's going to be a bit of a labour of love anyway, because he's a giant model, so... Now that I know I can paint detail again though, I'm probably just going to end up with like 3 colours on this guy. Because like when I tried to paint detail a few weeks ago, I couldn't hold my arm up for long enough and it was just very sore. So now that I can paint detail again, there was a squad of incursors? Yeah, incursors that I was like 99% complete with. I was just doing some final washing and some final touch up and then I was going to transfer them. So I'm probably going to go and jump back on them, I suppose. Finish them off. And then probably, because yeah, when you've got models that are almost complete, it's a shame to just move on. And I wouldn't have moved on to something else if I hadn't broken my arm and I couldn't basically paint accurately enough to finish them. You know what, you'll look pretty interesting in gold. He actually kind of feels like he's in Gravis armor. Like those legs feel like pretty chunky actually. I guess it's like the ridges on the legs. Definitely feel like he's in a bit more serious armor than just power armor, I guess. But I mean, he's toughness 4, so it is just standard power armor he's in. What gold is that? It's just Retributor armor. It's how I do all my golden models. I know that there's guides to do like lots of different layers of gold, but you can literally just go with Retributor armor, and then once it's all dried and etc., you can do like a wash of some. I mean, there's like 3 washes you can do over Retributor armor that all give you slightly different effects. You can do Agrax Earthshade, which will dull it down and give it sort of a brown glow. You can do Crimson Caraberg, I think is the one, which will give it like a red glow. Or you can also do like a violet wash. I forget the name of the violet wash. It's not a wash that I use personally, but some people swear by it as well. But I use the Crimson Caraberg, and I think that once you've painted them gold, you literally just wash it with Crimson Caraberg, make sure it doesn't pool anywhere as standard with washes, and you'll get like a really nice sort of bronzed gold. It'll be dumbed down a little bit, or dulled down a little bit from how bright it is right now, which I guess makes it a bit more realistic as well, and it's such an easy effect to do. So yeah, if you've never used Retributor armor with a wash over the top of it, you should try it. It's good. Might be good for multi-malters. It certainly is. Yeah. Good evening, Hangout. Late is the hour. Highland Phoenix is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. I'm going to bed soon. It's like half midnight. I never usually stream this late. I was just saying before you got on, Highland, my new glasses mean that, like, normally by now my vision is just like I can't focus. So I guess the new glasses are working because I can see shit at past midnight. We've got the Army List show coming up tomorrow night as well. If anyone wants to tune in for that, we'll be live from the sort of standard time of somewhere between 9:30 and 10. All just depends on when my daughter goes to sleep, basically. I think Hellbreak is going to be cool on the gold, honestly. I use Nuln Oil more to give a worn effect. Yeah, Nuln Oil is a great paint as well. I use it all the time. I don't use Nuln Oil over gold, but yeah, I mean, like, once you've put the gold on, there's so many options. Any of the 3 paints I mentioned, you could also do Nuln Oil if you wanted to look more battle ready or battle worn, maybe would be a better word. I didn't stick on his little servitor dudes because I felt like it was going to be a nightmare to paint him with the little servitor dudes stuck on the base. I think even without the servitor dudes, this guy's going to be a pretty tricky paint job. Isn't Hellbreak supposed to be gold? I've no idea. Is he gold on the GW website? I assumed he was in Black Templar's colours. If he is gold, then I feel like an idiot, because I thought going gold was going to make him unique and make him feel like he was Blood Angels. I'm sure he's not gold. Let me check. Hellbreak. Oh, he has bits of gold. Alright, yeah, I'm an idiot. He definitely has bits of gold. He's got a black tape with a red cross on his chest, though, so that will definitely be very different. Alright, damn it, I thought it was going to be unique here. You know what, he's even got these little side pieces of armor. See these little pieces here? These little pieces here are on the blade guard, because I 100% remember painting them when I did my blade guard. Because I think I painted them like red, like almost like they're an accent or something. So it's quite strange that he's got, like, I suppose blade guard aren't in Gravis armor, yeah. That always confuses me because they've got the better save and they feel chunky. So blade guard feel chunky, have extra armor, but are not in Gravis armor. And remember all that. The extra armor they have on their body doesn't change their rules at all, but the only thing that gives them extra armor is their storm shield. Trying to remember all that, I guess. Alright, once I'm finished with this leg, to a certain extent, I'm going to bed. Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. Thanks for hanging out to the bitter end. If you want to catch me on the live show tomorrow, like I said, that'll be about 9:30. And also, if you did enjoy tonight's stream, everyone that hits the like button is super appreciated. Thank you so much. At least there's a little bit of give on this sword, so I can move the sword and paint behind it. I'm going to paint the little wings on his headpiece white, I think, Highland Phoenix. I think that would give him... Well, that'll definitely make it that, like, you know, white wings on top of his armour is sort of showing that he's not Black Templar. I'm going to have to come up with a name for the faction. The one that people said tonight that I liked the most was Crimson Crusaders. I need to come up with a cool name, a unique name. Would kit bash a Bloodthrall? The only kit bash I did for the Grimaldus really was I gave him a Sanguinary. His little thrall has the Sanguinary Guard banner rather than the Black Templar's banner. So it'll be interesting. I don't know how out of place they'll look. I guess we'll find out when they're done. I'm probably not going to be done with these guys for a while though, but yeah, Blood Angels needed just a giant model like this that we could have a lot of fun making and painting and playing with. That's my dream for 10th, like a giant centerpiece model for 40k. I know there's ones for Horus Heresy, but like for 40k. Maristante. Yeah, is he going to be giant though? Is he going to be a centerpiece? I mean, is he just like, I wouldn't say Mephiston's a centerpiece, right? I'm talking like a 300-point monstrosity centerpiece. I'm talking about a model whenever you put it on the battlefield, people quake because he's so powerful. Maybe people quake at Dante, but I don't think they quake that much. Alright, that is the paint on my palette done. I guess that's enough for tonight. He's got 3 colours on him. Yeah. Gold, red, blue. Let's say maybe I can quickly... Yeah, there's a little bit of wet red paint here. Yeah, let's just get a quick second coat over the bit where it didn't cover at all well. And then I'm going to bed. Yeah, this red paint is crazy thin actually. They're going to get rid of Tycho once and for all. The Baal Predator is a true centerpiece. Well, wouldn't that be nice if they... I can't see it happening, dude. Love the enthusiasm. Can't see it happening. Alright, yeah, like one more coat and that'll do the base colour of that cloak for sure. A pretty horrible join here on this armour actually. Try and put some extra paint in there to cover that up. Don't know, I guess this bit of cloak didn't join very well. I didn't notice that. Lovely. Okay. Big centerpiece models are not guaranteed to be powerful, says DTM. I feel sorry for you and Magnus, DTM. Maybe, you know, new editions coming. Maybe you'll be powerful, right? I mean, you can have a Keeper of Secrets, though. That's a pretty powerful one. I had some fun against Siege Demons recently with Keeper of Secrets. Like, can do a lot of mortals with the Keeper of Secrets. Maybe the Keeper of Secrets is better than Magnus at the moment. Would that be fair to say? Alright, I'm going to call it a night. Any tips for fighting Astra Militarum? Do you know what? I've not fought them since they got the new codex. Yeah, I haven't fought them at all. I assume that they've got a shitload of Lehman Russes and stuff now, have they? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Lord of Change. Yeah, dude, it's half midnight. Sorry, I knew what I meant. I meant Lord of Change. It was Lord of Change I fought against because it had the big, giant blue wings, the nasty as fuck psychic powers. All right, enjoy your evening. Sorry, I don't have the answers on Astra Militarum. Bring it to Discord. Someone in Discord will have fought them. They'll know what you need to do. It was fun. Thanks so much for hanging out, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for the army show. And have a good evening. Peace. Thanks.